Hi, Suzanne, your Fresh Voice coach here. Today's video follows up on your Lesson 2 reading on author and book brands. We're going to have some fun doing some detective work. I'm going to give you 2 examples of how books and authors have branded and how you can observe and detect these brands by carefully picking out the clues on the book's covers. Then, I'm going to show you 2 more book covers, both by authors I've worked with in this program. First, we're going to take a look at a book called Dave Barry's Guide to Guys. Here it is. Dave Barry is a humor and lifestyle columnist for the Miami Herald who became syndicated around the world and then decided to write books. So his column persona transferred to book form. Let's see how he did it. We've talked about the 3 aspects of branding, and that's the mark, the promise, and the experience. In this case, the title is the mark. The author and book brand with this book are completely integrated. This is something I like to do more and more because building up the recognition of the author can only help positive association for the book. Let's go to promise. His audience is obviously women. He's promising to explain to us the foreign and weird behavior of guys. And he's promising to leave nothing out. Notice how complete is highlighted. And I know he's also attracted guys who wanted to know what secrets of theirs he was sharing with women. So let's take a look at the experience aspect of brand. We can tell from this book cover that the experience is going to be fun and that it's going to deliver on its promise. Not just from the various guy poses of Dave on the cover, but also because of 3 text messages that are literally crammed onto this very busy, colorful cover. At the top, you see New York Times bestseller. This is still the epitome of success in book publishing, to become a New York Times bestseller. Next, we see, farther down in smaller type, Laugh Out Loud Humor, says People magazine. And that's totally true. This is the only book I think I've ever read in my life where I literally had at least one laugh out loud experience on every page. It's amazing. And at the bottom, we see that he is a Pulitzer Prize winning humorist and author of another book. So major prize street cred. Pulitzer Prize, about as big as it gets in our biz. And it's all framed by a bright, cheerful, fun red border. So altogether, you know what you're expected to get from this book and how it's going to be delivered. Let's take a look at the second example. So I have to tell you a story first. I'm a mad golfer. And by mad, I mean crazy. Well, not actually mad, although that does happen. And one of the things that makes me craziest is when I miss a crucial putt. You know, there's that old golf saying, you drive for show, but you putt for dough. So you know I grabbed this book up ASAP. Let's take a look at how the author and book branding are handled here. So the mark. The text containing the book's title, How to Make Every Putt, is the most significant element on this cover, and for good reason. Along with the visual image of a golf ball making its way toward and then going into the hole, it presents a powerful 1-2 punch. Notice that the text is even more focused in on the keywords, make every putt. You could almost imagine an entire line of practice aids, attire, etc., with this brand emblazoned on them. It's straightforward, no nonsense. So let's go to the promise. The promise is made, as it so often is, in the subtitle, The Secret to Winning Golf's Game Within the Game. Putting is often called that because regardless of whether or not you can compete off the tee or out of the rough, everyone's on the same level on the putting green. I certainly can't compete with my partner's length off the tee or his long iron shots, but we can have a separate putting competition every round we play, and we do. Sadly, he still mostly beats me at that, but you get my point. So I'm interested in this secret? You bet. And if I needed more to convince me, the author is a doctor. They know lots of scientific secrets. And he's already a famous author in the golf category, Zen golf and Zen putting. And Lord knows I need some more Zen in my life and my golf game. What's my experience going to be? Well, I'm going to increase my self-confidence, lower my scores, and enjoy the game more. I'm going to win. All of these things are very satisfying to me, and I know I'm going to get them by this combination of text and design. And I'm going to get a lot of value from this one purchase. Because you see here, if I snap the QR code with my smartphone, I can get access to instructional videos. This is going to be almost as good as going to see a pro, at way less the cost. The book's $25. Most lessons start at $40 an hour and don't involve videos and a book you can read and study over and over. And not to be overlooked in this marketing material is what's on the back cover. Often it will reveal the book's description, as in the Berry book. I'll show you that back cover here. You got 2 books up at once. And or to review quotes from people who matter to the audience. In the case of the golf book, there are laudatory quotes from no less than Jack and Barbara Nicklaus, David Toms, Robert Trent Jones, and others in the golf-related media. If you don't know all those names, you're not into golf. But if that's the case, take it from me, these names are huge. All of this carefully chosen content, placement, and design is meant to present the brand's promise to you and create confidence that this purchase will be a great one for you. It also does something equally important. It clarifies quickly if it's not the right book for you. The authors and the publishers have clearly defined who their target audience is, and no, it's never the general public. They've honed all the packaging to ensure that it reaches the hearts and minds of those for whom the book is written. Mostly poor amateur golfers like me who can actually 4-putt from 6 feet. Let's see if you can identify those 3 elements, mark, promise, and experience, in the next 2 titles. I'll give you a little background on each as I'm showing them to you, and then I will ask you to identify each of the 3 elements before moving on in the video. There's no grading here, it's just awareness raising. I promise you'll never look at a book cover the same way again. And when you go to determine your focus, you'll have your imaginary book cover in the back of your mind as we put the other pieces of the discovery puzzle together. Also, please remember you're welcome to use the course comments at any time with additional thoughts, ideas, and any tech-related issues that you have with the lesson. Happy learning, and I'll see you next time. Okay, so the first title you're going to analyze is called Eating Myself Crazy, How I Made Peace with Food and How You Can Too, by Trina Wines. In this book, Trina begins by sharing the story of her own painful journey into, through, and beyond a food addiction that profoundly shaped her life. Trina conquered her bulimia and went on to become a registered social worker, lifestyle coach, consultant, speaker, trainer, and blogger, with only one goal: to help empower people to overcome their emotional dependence on food. So let's see what you can figure out about Trina's author and book brand by the cover. You're going to examine both the front and back cover. You'll find images titled EMC cover and EMC back cover in the lesson file, just below the video link. Open both of these and study them. Make notes on a blank sheet of paper if you like. When you're ready, open the document Book Brand Detective Exercise EMC. Print it and complete it. Then return to this video to get the briefing for your second book exercise. The second book you're going to look at is called Blown Away, A Year Through the Lens of the Tornado Hunter by Greg Johnson. I'm very proud to say that this book won the 2013 PubWest Gold Medal for book design. Greg was one of North America's top professional storm chasers and severe weather experts, and is an accomplished photographer, speaker, workshop leader, and now author. He's well known for his workshops in severe weather photography, his innovative shot making and creativity in merging time-lapse photography and music to make mesmerizing weather visuals and soundscapes. His mission is to inspire others to chase their own passions while sharing and teaching the lessons he's learned while pursuing his. You're going to examine both the front and back cover. You'll find images titled BA cover and BA back cover in the lesson file, just below the video. Open both of these and study them. Again, Make notes on a blank sheet of paper if it helps. Then you'll be ready to repeat what you did with EMC. Open the file called Book Brand Detective Exercise BA, print, and complete it. When you're done, open the document Brand Quiz Answers and compare your thoughts with the intentions we had when designing these covers. How many clues did you find? As I said earlier, there's no grading, just awareness raising. I'd be really happy to hear any comments or discussion you have about this exercise, whether or not you learned something, and if this engenders any thoughts you have about your own project. See the comments area in the lesson for this. We'll come back to branding more thoroughly in Module 2, but meantime, you're ready to move on to Lesson 3.